Hey, what's up? It's Michael, and I'm here to review Captain America Civil War. This will be full spoilers, so beware. Anyways, I know it's the second weekend of this movie being in theaters, but I saw it Friday, May 6th, the day it came out. This is a little late, but I've been a little busy, but I'm finally here to review this movie. So let me say right off the bat, hands down, one of the best superhero films and one of Marvel's best films. Personally, Marvel's best film for me is still The Winter Soldier, but this one is second for me. Anyways, this film has some of the best action I've ever seen. It has great character moments, a lot of emotion and depth, and while there's still the dramatical elements of what's going on in this conflict between these superheroes, there's still moments of humor. It's not grim and dreary, and it's fun. Which is something Batman versus Superman lacked. I'm not going to start that battle here, so I'm going to try not to bring up Batman versus Superman for the rest of this review. So, let me say first off, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. again play their parts beautifully. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Chris Evans is Captain America. They're great yet again. And I know I said I wouldn't bring up Batman versus Superman, but in that movie, Batman's motivations were clear. Some people didn't think they were. I thought Batman's motivations were clear. Superman's motivations in that film weren't very clear. Basically, in this movie, it was totally clear. You could understand where both are coming from. You can understand the philosophical differences and the ideologies of each character and why they chose the side they did. You understand where Cap's coming from, and you understand where Iron Man's coming from. Personally, Team Cap. But I could understand where Tony was coming from, but I never changed sides. Some people said they found themselves changing sides. I never changed sides. I was Team Cap the whole time. So basically, Captain America does not want to sign the Sokovia Accords, which mean the Sokovia Accords will govern superheroes. It means the government has control of these superheroes, and they're only allowed to use their powers and intervene when the government says so. And Captain America makes the argument of, that takes away our right to choose. What if there's somewhere we are needed and we can't help? And it's too late. And when they finally do let us in, it's too late. What about that? People die. And it's because the government didn't let us intervene. And then he makes on the point that he says, let's see if I remember the line. I think he says, this job is tough. We save everyone we can, but that doesn't mean everyone. But the safest hands are still our own, which I totally agree with. Because what if the government had that much power over super-controlled or super-powered people like that? Who's not to say that they would abuse this power and force superheroes to go out and do the government's dirty work? The Winter Soldier is an example of that. He is the physical embodiment of the Sokovia Accords. He was a government's toy, basically. He was sent out to do political assassinations. He murdered political people for a government. So that's Cap's side. Now Iron Man's side, I totally understand. Iron Man is really different from the first Iron Man. First, I think the Tony Stark and the original Iron Man would have been on the side Cap is. And I think Cap from the first Avenger would have been on the Sokovia Accord side if this movie had happened a few years ago. But it didn't. Iron Man going through everything he did, making Ultron, the suits, Mandarin, all this, made him more in favor of being governed While Captain America, when he was in the first Avenger, he's like, yeah, America, follow orders. Then he realized, following orders blindly and just doing whatever the government tells you maybe wasn't the best thing. Because then in the Winter Soldier, he finds out Hydra was corrupting S.H.I.E.L.D. and when Nick Fury sent him on a mission, he had his own agenda, which Marvel did beautifully. You can see that each character has developed in the several films leading up to this, and they're different, and it all makes sense and goes together cohesively. It was beautifully done, and you can understand where each character comes from. Iron Man, basically what puts Iron Man on this road, the final thing that happens that puts, we have to be put in check for Iron Man, is when a woman comes up to him after a presentation he makes and says, my son is dead because of you. Because this city fell on him. He's dead because of you. And she's referring to the events of Age of Ultron and Sokovia. That was a beautiful scene. It was awesome. Amazing. This movie is it's awesome. And also, another part I loved was Thunderbolt Ross, who came back from Incredible Hulk. It's crazy. This is only his second movie since 2008. Came back, and he presented the course of... And what's amazing is you could tell that Tony Stark has already made up his mind. He is sitting in the back. He's absolutely quiet. He doesn't say anything, but you can tell he's thinking. And that is compliment to Robert Downey Jr.'s fantastic acting. Anyways, from then on, our superheroes are divided. Tony tries to get Cap to sign in the first place. Cap seems like he's about to sign at one point, but he's like, no, done. I'm sorry. I'm done. I can't do this. This is not what I believe in. I'm going out, and Cap basically becomes a fugitive. And then we go to Uganda, the UN building, where they're going to sign this accord, and we get introduced to one of the film's best new additions in Black Panther. This guy is awesome. His father is killed in this UN meeting when it's blown up by the film's villain, who at the time was believed to be Bucky, but it was actually the film's villain, which we'll get to. But anyways, the story arc in the vengeance tale of Black Panther was done great. He's not really on anybody's side, he's just there seeking justice. Great. Amazing. Just amazing. Black Panther's awesome. He looks cool. He fights cool. And he's a very interesting character. And besides, I don't know. For me, I don't know. Is it Spider-Man or Black Panther? I really like both. A lot. And then Baron Zemo, the villain of this movie. He's not in it a lot, but I still think I don't have a problem. I think he was a good villain, a better villain than most of these Marvel films have had. He is basically the representation, more of a metaphor. He's the collateral damage. He was an assassin already before, but his family was killed in Age of Ultron, and he takes his vengeance to the point where he tries to find this file from 1991 of the Winter Soldier assassinating somebody, which is the opening scene of the film, and the Winter Soldier's chasing down somebody, and he kills them. We don't know who that is until the very end of the movie. But before we get to that, we have to talk about the airport scene, which was amazing. The airport scene is one of the best fights in movie history. I'm just saying it already. It's one of the best fights in movie history. It's where we see Spider-Man for the first time in action. Not the first time we see him in the movie, because we have that awesome scene where Peter Parker walks into his home and boom, Tony Stark. And it's cool. Anyways, the airport scene, awesome. The fight choreography for it was beautiful. And Ant-Man, he turned into Giant Man, which was super cool. And then Falcon and Winter Soldier versus Spider-Man, and they both get caught, and he shoots him with the webs, and he's like, "Man, you could have done that earlier. I hate you." And that was great. And the banter between the Winter Soldier and Falcon was also really good. Because there was a scene earlier where he was like, Can you move up your seat?" No. Which I thought was hilarious. Anyways, and then seeing Captain America fight Spider-Man was so freaking cool. It was awesome. I loved that scene, that 18-minute sequence, which is great. And Black Panther is awesome. I mean, he is powerful, dude. I mean, he beat pretty much everybody he fought. Anyways, after that scene, I'm just gonna skip pretty much right to the end, where Baron Zemo reveals the film's big twist, which I was utterly surprised by. I did not see coming. I can't believe it did not occur to me. Baron Zemo shows a tape to Tony, Iron Man, and Cap. And the tape shows this killing from earlier in the film that the Winter Soldier had done, and reveals that the person the Winter Soldier had killed was the parents of Tony Stark. And yet again, great acting. You could tell Chris Evans' face was like, "Oh crap," because Cap knew about it. And then Iron Man's face was total face of betrayal. And bam, just smacks him. And it's one of the best final fights of any movie I've seen. Cap and Bucky and Iron Man just go at it. I was a little worried because I was like, man, these guys are really... They might kill... Because I think if Cap was there to protect Bucky, really... Because I think Iron Man, if he had beaten Bucky, he would have killed him. And then Bucky finally got a little bit of that Winter Soldier, and he started going after Iron Man. He tried to rip out his, his thing. I forget what it's called. Burn his arm off. And then Cap beats the holy crap out of Iron Man, smashes the shield into him, and then walks away. And basically, the film ends with the Avengers being split, but Cap gives a letter to Tony telling him, "If you need me, I'm there." And as for Falcon, Ant-Man, and Hawkeye, I think Scarlet Witch, they're all in prison right now. But basically Cap and all them are fugitives, which I don't know what they're going to do with them. I don't know. I think the next time we might even see them might be Avengers Infinity War, which is a bummer. Well, I hope they show up sometime down the line. But anyways, this is a great movie. Oh, one more thing about that fight. Didn't it seem that Cap was really also trying to protect Tony from doing something he'd regret by killing Bucky? Anyways, tell me what you guys thought of this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I'm going to give it a rating of a 9.5 out of 10 for Captain America Civil War. It's a great movie. The villain was a little weak, but I still liked him. Anyways, great movie. And I should mention that Black Panther's character arc at the end was great. He realized that there was enough blood had been shed, and he did not kill Baron Zemo, or he didn't kill Baron. He did not kill Bucky. He realized enough blood had been shed, and thought he didn't want to end up like Zemo and saw that he was so full of hatred, and he decided justice would be served for him. Anyways, sorry, I've gone on long enough. This movie gets a 9.5 out of 10. Go out and see Captain America Civil War if you have. Well, if you watch this, you probably have because it's spoilers. But if you watched it for whatever reason, go see it play out for yourself. It's a great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait for Doctor Strange. And I can't wait for Spider-Man Homecoming because of that awesome end credit scene. And I will be probably back maybe tomorrow with the Assassin's Creed trailer review. Or, if not that, probably an X-Men Apocalypse review. So, I'll see you guys later. Peace.